and welcome to my review of the Makeup Revolution / I Love Makeup palette in Death by Chocolate. This whole line of palettes is trying to mimic what Too Faced has done with their very popular chocolate bar palettes, but I think some of these are actually dupes for other renowned brands such as the Lorac Unzipped palette. I'm not really sure what this palette is supposed to dupe. In any case, the compact is made of hard plastic and it does kind of look like chocolate melting onto the compact, and this will show fingerprints, but well. And on the website I bought these off of. These generally retail for €9.99. On the day I made my purchase, this one was on sale, so I only paid €6.99, and shipping generally costs €3.90 to Germany. This palette comes with a dual-sided sponge tip applicator, and then it comes with 18 shades. 2 of those shades are larger, and all of these shades are neutrals, but they're on the darker sides. And by the way, I really do love the huge mirror on top. All of these shades do have names, and they are written on this plastic inlay that you get with your palette. And a big question with these is the scent, because the chocolate bar palettes are scented, they smell like chocolate. As far as this one goes, I would say that you would need quite a bit of fantasy in order to say that it smells like chocolate. It smells like something, but mostly, to my nose at least, it smells like a pretty chemical smell that maybe wants to go in the direction of chocolate. So kind of a nice try, but to me it's not really chocolatey. Anyways, it's not the smell that interests me in eyeshadows, but mainly the shades, the pigmentation, and their blendability. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the swatches. So I've decided to switch up a bit the way that I do my swatches, and I want to try a new strategy, and that is I have primed my arm and I'm going to do swatches with a brush. So the first shade over here is called White Light. This is not very visible. This is one of those shades that is really great for highlighting under the brow bone. It is a matte cream shade. It's kind of similar to Wet n Wild's Brulee. It also happens to be pretty similar to my own skin tone. And next to it we have this shade, which is called Don't Let Go. This has very nice pigmentation. This is kind of a rosy taupey shade. I hope that my light is not washing it out. I may try to tone down my light a little bit actually, because I think that in person this comes off a lot stronger. Let me fiddle with the light a little bit and I'll be right back. So I've toned down the lighting a little bit. I think it was a bit too strong and it was washing out the colors on my arm, which is never good. And then the third shade on the first row is called Break Me Up. This one has very decent pigmentation for being a matte. And it is a brownish taupey shade. Next to it we have the shade Consume Me. Really nice pigmentation there. And this is a beautiful, more purpley taupey shade, and it's also quite a bit darker. Really pretty and excellent pigmentation. In my Makeup Revolution unboxing video, I mentioned that I was a little bit disappointed with these eyeshadows. What I've noticed from swatching them afterwards with my fingers, so off camera I went through all the shades and I swatched them all with my finger. And of course it's normal that you get a different information from your tactile senses than you would get from a brush. And what I've noticed is that these eyeshadows seem to have somewhat of a film on top of them that is a bit harsher, and once you work your way through that film, the eyeshadow that is underneath is buttery soft and really pigmented, and especially this last row was really impressive. These felt like cream eyeshadows, so if I were to put my finger into any of these 4 shades over here and I would have my eyes bound, I would probably think that these were cream eyeshadows. And that is a good thing in terms of fallout. I have not noticed any kind of fallout with these shades, but the only shade that I did notice some fallout with was the next one that I am going to swatch, which is the last one from the first row, and it is called All Is Lost, and this is another matte shade. Really nice pigmentation. So this is a very dark charcoal. I would almost say black, but it's not the blackest of black. It's still super pigmented. It is almost black. Really great pigmentation, as you saw. I really did not pick up a lot with my brush, But since this is so pigmented, you want to make sure that you tap off your brush before applying it to the eye, because as I was darkening my outer V with this, I did notice a little bit of fallout underneath my eyes from it. The first one on the second row is called Lick Me. And this is another matte, and it's kind of a pinkish taupey shade. Well, really more pinkish. Quite pretty, and this is very nice to put in the crease as a transition shade. The pigmentation is nice. Next to it there is another shimmery shade which is called Fool's Gold. Very nice pigmentation. Actually, you're probably not able to see it yet. Let me build it up a little bit. It is super reflective, and I'm hoping that you can at least see the reflection of it. This is very nicely pigmented, really, and it is one of those super creamy shades. So there it is. Trust me that in real life the pigmentation of this one is quite impressive. And then next to it we have another matte shade which is called One More Bar, and this is a matte brown. Really nice pigmentation, you can see that. And all of these mattes are very nice and soft and finely milled, so it's really easy to blend them through the crease. So again, this one here is One More Bar. This really does look like chocolate. And then next to it we have another matte, this time a taupe, and that one is called Devour Me. As you can see, this has quite a bit of purple into it as well. Super nice and very pigmented. I have used both of these in the crease non-stop ever since I got this palette, and they are so nice, so pigmented, so easily blended out. I just love them. And then next to it is another shimmery shade which is called Tear the Wrapper over here. Okay, this needs a bit of building up. Really nice shade. This is more of a rose gold. I haven't really used this one that much, and I think this still had some of that initial film that I was telling you about, but the pigmentation is still really good, and it is another one of those that is very metallic looking. And then next to it we have another purpley shade which is called Love You to Death. So the pigmentation of this one is not quite as impressive, but it really does build up nicely. This is a shimmery purpley shade. Really pretty though. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you probably know that I'm in love with purples. So this shade, Love You to Death, is one of my favorites. And then going over to the third row, the first shade over here is called Pray For Me. Boom, that is impressive pigmentation. So this is a shimmery brown with a lot of gold into it. Super pretty. I did a smoky eye wearing this one, so pretty. This Pray For Me is an excellent shade. In order to swatch the remaining 4 shades in the palette, I will just twist my arm into what is a pretty uncomfortable position, but I just ran out of space on top. And the second shade on the last row is called Dipped. Beautiful pigmentation. This is a beautiful bronzy taupe shade, so metallic. You're probably getting a lot of the reflection because my light is hitting it directly, but this is one of those multifaceted shades that changes its appearance based on how the light is hitting it. Super gorgeous. And next to it we have a shade called Tease Me. Amazing pigmentation as well. This is a more gray taupey shade. So beautiful. Both of these are so metallic, so reflective, and they change so much depending on how the light hits them. They are both so very flattering on the eyes. I did smoky eyes with both of these on different days, obviously, and I was really thrilled with how they turned out. Super pretty shades. Then second to last we have a lighter shade which is called Set Me Free. This is more of a blush shade, Very pretty as well. Again, one of those super reflective shades that changes a lot when the light hits it directly, when you see the shimmery part of it, and when the light does not directly hit it, you see more of the darkness in the shade coming through. I would probably call this last row in the palette my favorite row. I just love it so much. And then the very last shade, which is this big one over here, is called Bring Down Angels. This is not very visible on the skin, but this is such a beautiful highlight shade. It's a very, very beautiful shimmery champagne shade. Not overly shimmery, but it carries just enough shimmer to make it look very classy and very flattering on the eyes. And I've also tried layering this last one on top of other shades that I wanted to lighten. Very pretty effect as well. So it's cool that you're getting a larger size of this one. So here are all the shades again. The pigmentation is pretty spectacular on this palette. Again, once you work your way through that initial layer of product, it's really just a film. I wouldn't call it a crust because a crust would be something more substantial. This is just a film, and on the eyes they perform beautifully. They really do blend out very nicely. I did notice that after about 10 hours they start to fade a little bit, and that applies particularly to the lighter shades that I would apply all over my lid, but they definitely do not fade into nothingness, so you still have a decent eye makeup on. It just does not look identical to what it did when you first applied it, but still I consider 10 hours for the price to be great staying power. I really love the range of shades that are contained in this palette. This palette is primarily for somebody who enjoys darker, smokier looks. I do think that they result in very sultry looks. I love all the shades in the palette. I don't think any of these shades is a dud. I love the fact that you have mattes that you can blend the crease out with. I love this dark charcoal shade over here, and I absolutely adore these beautiful sophisticated shades on the last row. So if I were to give this palette a grade, I would probably give it a 9.5 out of a 10. The only things that I'm not crazy about are the sponge tip applicator and the sensation that you get when you first touch it. But as I said, that is something that will go away very quickly, so don't let yourself be disappointed by that. This is a wonderful palette and it is so affordable. I would definitely qualify this as a bargain, and after having tried this one, I'm so curious to try the other 4 chocolate palettes from Makeup Revolution. So if you have more experience using those, please tell me in the comments below what you think about them and which one you would recommend that I try next. I'm really thrilled with this one, and this is one of the top palettes in my collection right now. I cannot stop using it ever since I got it. This is wonderful for traveling with the big mirror and with the mix of shades. You can get a variety of looks out of this one, and I do think this mix would offer something for any eye color. So I think that if you were to purchase these, you would probably not be disappointed. I hope that this review was helpful. If it was, please give it a quick thumbs up, leave me a comment, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. It is of course completely free to do all of those things, and it really does help me out when you do that. Have an amazing rest of the day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!